Finnish developer Miro Haverian is working on Fear and Hunger universe. He has set a goal to make the most aggressive game in relation to the player. In Fear and Hunger, the heroes are fragile, exposed to hunger and fear. Their enemies, creepy monsters, are dangerous and ruthless. The plot of the first part borrowed many elements from the Berserk universe, Lovecraftian horrors and many religions. In terms of atmosphere, the game was inspired by the Dark Souls series, Silent Hill and many others. Despite such different sources, the end result is a great RPG maker-based horror game. In the first Fear and Hunger, the protagonist was immediately attacked by a pack of dogs, to make him hide in a dungeon of a Fear and Hunger. There he had to prowl in the dark, scrolling for scarce supplies and running away from monsters. Inconvenient mechanics forced him to die over and over again. It was only later, after learning from my mistakes, that I managed to get a normal equipment and the support of the gods. This allowed you to go to the deeper parts of the dungeon, where a new danger awaited you, and so until the victorious end. A lot of the time has passed since this event of the first part. There was as a technical breakdown and humanity was dragged into analog of World War II. At the same time, the practice of worshipping the old and new gods has been preserved. Their cults still have considerable influence. This time the story was inspired by the legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. The game is set in a small town of Braheville, where the moon god Hero decided to have a Termina festival. The deity himself looked like a moon with a face that's getting closer to the earth every day. Calling himself his messenger, a creature named Perkyo has assembled 40 candidates for the festival, and only one of them must survive. 8 of the 14 candidates can be managed. Each has a unique ability and character. Some of them survived the war, where they mastered their specialties. They are here against their will. Others are well versed in the occult that pursue their own goals. The game meets your character less aggressively. If you compare it to the first part, you will be given a little time to get used to it before they start bullying you. Safety is comparative concept here though. In the prologue, you will encounter a creature called the Janitor. He defeats your character in a battle. He will cut his leg and leave him to die. That's the kind of warm welcome. After the prologue, you will meet the other candidates, and the initial dialogues change depending on the chosen character. After meeting the candidates, scattered through Braheville, and already on your action depend on their fate. You can try to save these lemmings from immediate death. After then you can try to recreate them. If the candidate dies at the hands of your character, his soul becomes yours, and with its unique abilities, if you want, do nothing. The result will be very interesting. Whether you will be a hero or not is partly your choice. Candidates can be genuinely friendly, pretend to be one, or actively hunt down colleague. In this world, fear and hunger can turn anyone into a monster, although there are times when monsters show humanity, but it's rare. Creating a character begins with learning his or her backstory. Choice made at this point will allow you to gain various abilities. Specialists will learn how to open electronic locks, doors, create drugs or poisons. Fighters have bonuses to melee or range combat. Legion characters get bonuses from interacting with the gods. With each character, the walkthrough will be unique, but even among them, Olivia is on a different level. She is a nerd girl who is confined to a wheelchair. In a combat, she can be knocked to the ground, rendering her helpless. She has trouble even navigating normal stairs. This is an important point, because the locations in the game are not only large, but full of stairs. But she doesn't have to worry about losing her legs. They don't work anyway. There are many dangerous locations in the game. Next to the Braheville in the forest, home to headless dogs, cultists and a woodsman. At the back of the story is a small village. Its inhabitants have been burned by the moonlight, causing their bodies to change. In a fit of madness, they have peeled off their skin. Some of them stand like idols, while other pawns and outsiders. Their attacks have the power to infect their victims. If you don't get rid of them, with herbs or saw a limb off, the consequence can be fatal. There are brutal law enforcement officers roaming the city. They do not care about the murders and maniac around them. Instead, their three-armed bobbies are hunting you. The city itself is under the control of Caesar, the king in yellow, and he doesn't care about the local monsters. His men shoot everywhere in the patch, including you. Underneath the city is sewer system. Rats and mutant swarms among the thieves. You don't want to go down there unless you have to. There are also bunkers underground. They are full of excellent spears and weapons with ammo, but they must be explored with the utmost caution. Don't you know what lies here? And as if that were not enough, the connection with the gods allow you to travel to another dimension. In the side of the world you can find the answer to some questions. More such moments are needed to move forward in the story, but the creature that inhabits is uncomfortably ugly and dangerous, even by local standards. To survive, you have to collect anything that isn't nailed to the floor. Various creature and wells contains food and useful items. There are more valuable items in the chest, but the chance of finding them depends on the coin flip. Even used toilet paper comes in handy. Yes, it will cause blood poisoning, but you will bandage the wound. It's important the character can turn diagonally. This allows you to search containers that seems inaccessible. If you have a laser bevel, you have in luck. With them, you will be able to draw the things of the gods. This will allow you to save, create portals, heal or open a location. After drawing, the chosen daily will show his favor to you. After that you can learn useful skills and spells. When the battle is unavoidable, you have to act fast. Cut off the enemy's limb with a weapon, throw broken glass in his eyes. Before the battle with a strong enemy, it is better to stop the hero with drugs, addiction at least of his problems. I also know that the spells of the gods will have, but they have a negative effect on his psyche. Modern weapons also work well in the battle with monsters. Firearms allow you to deal with enemy at a distance. You can also lure him on a mine or a trap. They just that some enemies are also able to shoot. Be careful. The game should be started with an easy level of difficulty, but even on this level it's easy to lose a limb or die in the battle. But it's easier to study the game if you want to try the medium level later. Well, the high level of difficulty is called masochism, because it's only suitable for the most desperate players. At first it feels like the game has got softer. You are not pushed into the thick things from the start. The number of enemies who try to harm the character has decreased. The initial location looks cozy and safe, but it's all a screen. New location get message that is not safe here. There are summons here. Colorful comments are made about your action, like looking out the window or examining object. After each rest, the day of the festival gets closer and closer, and with it the environment deteriorates. The farther you go, the more horrors you encounter, the more unexpected you see. The rare opportunity to survive makes you nervous, afraid of losing progress. Fear will be escalated by the sound and music. The game will do anything to humiliate the player and kill his character. Anyway, it can become a dead trap by this dangerous street curiously. You want to look around another corner, go into another building. What surprise is prepared to the player there? A kind of masochistic pleasure. It's still a brutal and bloody game. It's easy to die in, and success will largely depend on luck and a coin flip, but the game conveys well an atmosphere and dispensing and hopefulness. It goes well with borrowing elements from Silent Hill and Lovecraftian horror. It's even better than the first part.